Yep.
with Jesus. He humbled himself.
Yeah.
And the other question was, but that's okay.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned he went there because he had faith. He thought Jesus could help. So he already had an element of faith.
Yep.
And he had the faith then to take Jesus at his word and turn around and go back without any big ceremony or,
Yep.
you know, lightning coming from the sky or anything like that. So he had faith. His faith was tested and probably grew. And he demonstrated faith. I thought, it says in the Bible, grow in faith and knowledge. So we would say we have faith.
Yeah.
But when we pray to Jesus, we too like to prescribe, come and do this and let's do that. And we make our plans, but we have to leave it for the Lord often. Well, we should anyways, all the time.
Yeah.
He might have a totally different idea how that's going to happen. And that man had that. He accepted that.
I think he had faith too.
Yeah, I believe so too.
I think the question was also asked how he would think of Jesus to respond. And I think it's probably similar to Naaman and the prophet. Naaman expected the prophet to sort of come, and he didn't even come out of his house, he sent his servant.
Yeah.
So he expected the prophet to do something, touch him, lay his hands over him and whatever.
Yep.
But he just sent him to dip himself in the river, which didn't make sense. So in the same token, maybe this guy expected Jesus to come to his house,
Yep.
but Jesus didn't come. And the centurion was opposite. Jesus offered to go, and yet he was not worthy to have Jesus in his house.
Yep.
So Jesus never did the same thing twice. He did everything different in a sense, but he could do everything different because he had authority for everything.
Yep. Thank you. So originally the man's plan was to come with Jesus, to come with him back to Capernaum, to the sick son. But that's not what happened. The man had faith. He simply turned around and began the journey home, believing that what Jesus told him. Yes.
One thought. Maybe Jesus knew that there is not much time to go there and heal the son.
Yes.
Another day, the boy
too late.
would die.
Yep.
So he just spoke it, and the man believed.
Yep. Imagine that with no faith, it would be extremely difficult to start to go home in a misery. Did I come here for nothing instead of being with my child at his last moments? Or maybe the son is getting better. Son is going to leave. Without of faith, that's just a misery. But instead of worrying, I think he relaxed and walked away with confidence because he believed what Jesus was telling him. Jesus tested the man's faith before he helped. Do you think Jesus also tests our faith?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Does he test our faith?
Especially if we have a request to God and God does not answer. It's a kind of test of the faith. Do we still believe that He will answer on His time, not on our time and our wish and what we want to have done right away?
Yeah.
So we have to have patience. God knows exactly what He is doing on His time, not on our time.
Yes. Do you think Jesus also tests our faith? Jesus tested the nobleman's faith with just telling him, go home, your son will live. So he didn't question Jesus. He just turned around and went back home, knowing believing in Jesus. Yes.
If he didn't know my faith and our faith, he wouldn't be God. So he already knows my faith. He doesn't have to test my faith. He will do it for my sake. I need to know whether I have faith in God or not.
That's quite true. That's good.
Yeah.
Very good. God tests our faith through trials, uncomfortable situations, and sometimes even through pain and sorrow. None of us are perfect. We all need tests and trials because through them we grow, gain wisdom, and become more faithful followers of Christ. After a trial, we often look back, ask ourselves whether we responded in the most Christ-like way. And when we know we did, it brings a deep sense of joy. The next reading is verses 51 to 54, please.
While he was still on the way, his servants met him with the news that his boy was living. When he inquired as to the time when his son got better, they said to him, "The fever left him yesterday at the 7th hour." Then the father realized that this was the exact time at which Jesus had said to him, "Your son will live." So he and all his household believed. This was the second miraculous sign that Jesus performed, having come from Judea to Galilee.
Thank you. Sometimes people wait for dramatic signs before they are willing to believe in God. Yet often they overlook the miracles happening right in front of them, failing to recognize and acknowledge God's work. This noble man chose to believe first, and then the miracle followed. Unlike many who insist they must see something before they believe. When people take that approach, they place themselves above God, treating God as He is nothing to them until He proves Himself with a miracle. This chapter clearly shows that a truly righteous person doesn't need to chase after signs or wonders in order to believe. However, it helps strengthen faith. If we believe, God will reward our faith and He will provide our needs. But it must be a genuine relationship, not the kind where we only turn to God when we need something. This passage is about believing God with no doubt, because whoever believes in Him not perish and receives everlasting life. I still got some few questions to answer. Do you think the face-to-face encounter with Jesus increased his faith, the nobleman's faith? Yes.
Clearly there are two types of faith there. I would say that yes. Now that's just my perception. But he believed in the miracle. But if we read at the end, it says that so he and all his household believed.
Yeah.
So what was at first? Didn't he believe? He must have had faith to go there. But what it's saying, he believed in the miracle. But when he saw that, he believed that this is the Son of God. There's not a way to reconcile the two.
Yep.
Otherwise, it will be all over the place, the story.
Yep. Thank you. Another question is it permissible to look for signs and wonders? I translated to my language this question: are we allowed to look for signs and wonders?
I think sometimes we look around and we see signs and wonders. So why not believing in God, our Creator? We have the signs and wonders all around us.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
as a wonder because He created us.
Yeah. Sorry, Rennie.
No, my
Good.
answer was entwined with his.
Thank you. Steve?
Depends which comes first. If you are seeking signs and wonders to believe, that's
Yeah.
not very good.
Mm.
But if you believe and see signs and wonders, that's a better position.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
the idea is to believe in Jesus, not about signs and wonders.
Yes.
And all this anyway reminds me of what we generally call judging Thomas. When Jesus ended up saying to him, "Oh, you believe because you've seen my side and seen my hands. Blessed are those that believe without seeing, because that's called faith, and that's what we're called to."
Yeah. Your faith. Yes, Steve?
Just the one-to-one and the signs with turning wine, water into wine, and now the second about a sad situation, a life and death situation.
Yes.
It shows that Jesus first performed a happy in a happy situation, and here it's you could say a more critical and sad situation. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter what situation it is, we need Jesus as an answer. So it doesn't matter if it's a party or someone's dying. The answer is both cases with Jesus.
I really like Brother Stu's answer because it also stems into the fact that Jesus said, when you're happy, sing, when you're sad, pray.
Mm.
Yeah, we're totally always involved.
Thank you. One more question. How can we thank God for His goodness, especially when we have experienced His power in our life? Like this nobleman experienced. Jesus helped him. What can we do if we experience something similar?
You'll have to ask that again because I want to go back to the previous one still.
Okay, let's do the previous one.
You ask, is it okay to ask for a sign or a...
Are we allowed to look for signs and wonders?
Well, I was thinking right away about Thomas. He already came up. After Jesus resurrected, the women went to the tomb. They came back and told all the others. And it says they did not believe the women because their words seemed to them like nonsense. But Peter got up and ran there to look. Like, I don't believe you, but I want to go see.
Yeah.
So there's still an element of faith because he knew what Jesus said. And Thomas too, Jesus appeared to them all and showed him, hands and so on. And Thomas said, when they said, "We see the Lord," he said, "Unless I see the nail marks and put my finger in the nails where I will not believe."
Yeah.
Hang on, I want to see this, what you see, kind of. And I don't know if that's a doubt or asking for extra special. You saw it, why can't I see it? Happened to you, why can't it happen to me? And Jesus knew that, and he was gracious. A week later, Jesus appeared. He said, "Put your finger here and your hands here, Thomas, and stop doubting and believe." So, I don't know, we can't say, you don't believe unless you see. Well, maybe that's that kind of person. But once he's seen it, he'll believe it.
Okay.
God's gracious kind of both ways. That's how I kind of see it. But we should have faith for sure.
Yep.
But some need a little bit of a boost with that.
Thank you.
More so than others, perhaps.
Do we have answer for the other question? I read it again. How can we thank God for His goodness, especially when we have experienced His power in our life?
Words are not enough. my mind, my thoughts, my words fail me.
Yeah. Especially in that case, like what happened with the nobleman. Yeah. Okay.
I think we keep an element of, we still have an outstanding debt, not that we can never pay it, but always to be thankful and always try to do better. And, you know, free, I think we sang this morning, freely we receive, freely give. So I gave once, so that's it? No, you freely receive, freely give. He went home and they believed because of his testimony. The Samaritan people believed because of her testimony. And so that is always something we can do.
Thank you. It's only the summary left. Our faith can be rewarded when we reach out and take a step in faith, knowing that God is the only one who can help, and that without Him, our particular ventures have no chance of success. We need to place ourselves in such a position in our work for the Lord, so that He may be glorified and we at the same time can recognize our nothingness. God gives us signs and wonders to confirm our faith. And He also wants us at times to trust Him without seeing, to increase our faith in Him. Thank you for your input.
Thank you for sharing the Bible class. Well done. Thank you. We'll have a short break and then continue with the service. Brother Oscar will share from the Word. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.